anybody with an internet connection has a chance. That makes you catching 10x, 50x, 100x. When you're buying coins, you're buying people. All of the utility stuff is a complete farce. And I think meme coins are going to be 500 times bigger or you let middle class people become much wealthier. All of these things have been broken by technology. Wealth cares about human connections. 99.9% of altcoins that have ever existed have been meme coins all along.
People think that they can come to crypto and they can invest in a meme coin and they can generate lots of wealth and they can retire their families and crazy things. So I want to understand more, how do you see this concept of generating generational wealth and meme coins?
Yeah, so it's not as easy as it sounds. You need to be investing in coins that can actually become multi-cycle. Mm-hmm. And even though there have been 6 million coins created this cycle alone, there's probably only going to be 3 or 4 that are going to end up being multi-cycle. Again, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to buy and hold, which is my whole philosophy, then you really need to do your research. On-chain metrics, communities, holder rate growth, artwork, media, all of these things matter, right? If you're just trying to trade, it's possible, but I think your odds are much lower. Ultimately, like I've already said, I think most people, they just want to buy and hold. And I always kind of speak and describe things with the assumption that you're somebody who just wants to buy and hold for a year, for example, right? And if you are somebody who wants to buy and hold for a year, you want to buy things that already have critical mass. Critical mass means they already have a large community that continues to grow week to week. Not every meme coin can say that. They already have like listings that are happening at least every few weeks, and they have on-chain metrics which show that their holders, they really hold for a long time. They don't sell, they believe, they show up every day. All of these things are important to analyze. And so it's not as easy as coming in and buying a random thing, because if you do that, 97% chance you're going to lose. You really need to do your research to sort of separate the strong from the weak, so to speak.
Yes, and something very interesting is that people keep scrolling on social media, they spend lots of time there. And in crypto, people are making money when they are scrolling on X, because as you mentioned, they show up, they research, they come and they find new tokens or new meme coins. So what do you recommend to them? Where they should be focused on now to be able to make it?
Yeah. So I actually hate social media. I think it has created more aggregate unhappiness in the world than literally anything else on the history of Earth. But no one talks about it because instead of like one person suffering a lot, what happens is it just gradually pushes down the happiness levels of like billions of people. You're kind of boiling the frog slowly. That being said, Twitter has always been the sort of the Amsterdam trade square of the crypto industry. So whether you like it or not, you have to be there. Honestly, I'm on the record recommending to people, if you're just starting in crypto, one of the best things you can do, as crazy as it sounds, is to just scroll Twitter for like 6 hours plus per day, because like that's where the earliest things happen, right? That's where the earliest discussions happen. That's where the earliest ideas come about, earliest trends. So, at the end of the day, crypto is a social game in a way. It's a people game, and people are on Twitter. It's effectively our town square. So you have to be on Twitter.
Yes, and nowadays people find meaning or purpose or identity in different ways. Before they used to find meaning and purpose in religion. By now they are finding purpose on social media, on trends, on different online communities. Do you think meme coins are a way to find purpose as well?
Yeah, so this is the way I see it. Essentially, there's a generational divide where almost regardless where you are on the planet, but specifically let's focus on like the first world, the lives of Zoomers is going to be much more difficult than their boomer parents. For example, like back in the 70s, back in the 60s, a single man could have an entry-level job or just a regular job, regular middle-class job, and somehow he would end up having a wife, 3 kids, a house. All the kids would go to college. Obviously, today, that's a complete pipe dream, right? And a lot of sort of community spaces, third spaces, things that used to give people meaning back in the past. Obviously, family formation is at an all-time low. Fertility is at an all-time low. You know, people living alone in the Western world is at an all-time high. Mental health issues are at an all-time high, even though we have more abundance than ever before. You have to ask yourself why, right? It's because the mammal, it doesn't care about absolute levels of wealth. It cares about human connection, and it cares about like relative status. It cares about all things that are human, you know? It cares about quote unquote the village, you know? And all of these things have been broken by technology essentially, right? And after COVID, they've accelerated even more. And so my theory is a lot of people are finding like different outlets for this spiritual void. You know, this is why video games are so huge right now. They're a vessel of escape, obviously. Some people are finding this like in the gym, CrossFit, you know, keto diet, vegan diet, carnivore diet, you know, meditation retreats, yoga, whatever you want to call it, right? You can kind of model all of these communities as if they are cults or mini cults, quasi cults. They all have a cult following. And then you kind of take this cult framework, you extend this further, and you realize that we've seen this with assets as well. We've seen this, obviously, you know how fanatical Tesla fanboys are, you know, Apple stockholders. Obviously, this has extended to crypto as well. BTC, probably one of the strongest cults in the world right now. And we're seeing similar things even with like Doge as well. Obviously, GME, AMC last cycle too. One of the things fueling all of this is what you said. It's people trying to find community, trying to find a place to belong, trying to find some kind of a journey, some kind of an adventure, some kind of a place to be, even if it's digital, right? And this is the reason for all of these mini cults emerging. They essentially give people a place to be. They give people, and the strongest ones are those where people come in and they don't leave, and where people come in and they make that thing their whole identity. So my whole thesis has been, you apply this level of thinking within meme coins. This is how you find the next Doge. This is how you find the next XRP. This is how you find the next BTC, right? One of my theories, by the way, is the more Bitcoin-like a meme coin culture is, the bigger it's going to go. What does that mean? Because one of the angles from which you can view Bitcoin is it has perfected the art of cult building, right? You know, laser eyes everywhere, people being diehard maximalists, people making it their whole identity, talking to all their relatives, all their friends, everybody they can ever meet, you know, creating artwork around it, making it their whole mission, etc., right? And I think if you find similar properties in memes, this is how you get those 100x, 1000x runners. And this is what I've been talking about for like the past half a year.
Wow, yeah, it's very interesting because now people are finding new ways to create their identity. And let's talk about, you know, like creating a token or creating a community. If poor people are not becoming rich, there is no community.
Yep.
So can you explain more this concept?
Yeah, this is essentially the reason why altcoins are underperforming heavily this cycle and why meme coins are winning. Because this cycle, altcoins did not let poor people get rich, and meme coins did let poor people get rich. So the way you build a cult, the way you build a large, passionate community is you let poor people get richer, or you let middle-class people become much wealthier. This way, you create an army of people that essentially become full-time evangelists for your project. And here's the thing, and history proves this. Why? Because if you look at BTC, ETH, XRP, Link, Cardano, all of the coins that are often most referred to as cults in crypto, they've all at some point traded cheaply. And even before their big run-ups, they already had 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 holders. And once those run-ups happened, those people, that initial community, and as well as the people that have joined them along the way, they've become much wealthier than ever before. And this coin is everything to them. It's their family. It's their journey. It's the highlight of their life. It's their identity. And so as a thank you, but also as a way to get the token to continue going higher and higher, they invest in the community, but it's not just about money. They invest time, they invest energy, they invest their skills, they invest everything, time, everything. And we call this free cult labor. And essentially, this is why cults are so strong, is because you have essentially these people that are providing to the community. They're bull posting about it constantly, creating billboards in the real world, creating artwork, creating merchandise, recruiting other people to come in. And this is really what creates those like giant success stories in crypto. And this is what the VCs and tech founders this cycle have failed to understand, is if you don't build a community and, to make matters worse, you launch immediately at 30 billion, it's going to be down only. Because not only are you launching very expensively, but there's also no people that are passionate, that are expressing their passion about the project, right? And so meme coins are doing it this cycle. That's why I love them. That's why I'm going to continue to bull post them. And that's why I continue to be very optimistic about them for the rest of the year.
People care about, emotional connection, making money, not about reading white papers and reading about tech. So do you think this is one of the reasons why meme coins are winning?
Yeah, totally.
Because I think it's, that there is people think that they need to be very tech savvy or they need to understand technology to enter the space. However, when they see a meme coin, they don't need to learn anything new about technology. So I think this is a very good way for them to enter because they feel confident to start. Yep. Because they understand the full concept, which is not technical.
Yeah, exactly. This is like one of the 20 reasons why meme coins are winning right now. The learning curve is much less steep. Like if you right now started playing like World of Warcraft after it's already been out for like 23 years, the learning curve would be very steep because after all of those updates, there's so much for you to learn, It's the same with crypto. A newcomer, they would need to understand, blockchains, cryptography, like you said, white papers, restaking, yield farming, all of these different things and how they all kind of interact with one another. But meme coins, they're simple, It's a concept, it's an idea, it's a tokenized community, and you're exactly right. Because they're so much simpler, they're much more accessible to a wider demographic, which doesn't feel left out.